It is a fun Friday. The best day for fun and games. Welcome, everyone, to today's episode. We're on episode 4, and today we will be talking about a cool game. And it is going to be the game that we always play on our phones, on our iPads, on Xbox, and PlayStation 5. It's within the Asphalt series. It is also available on PCs and Macs. And the most exciting thing is, it is also available on arcade, and it has built-in VR. And that game is Asphalt 9 Legends, and that is at Round 1 Amusement. My name is Bobby, and we'll be talking about how to how to play the game, how to operate the game, how the VR headset works, how to put on the VR headset, and we'll also be comparing the arcade to other games, to other car arcade games that are at Roundmont or other places. So, without further ado, let's dive in. So, how to play Asphalt 9 Legends arcade. So all you gotta do is have a game card and get a game card and then swipe it and then swipe it in the the electronic card slot. Once that light turns green, you are in the game. You know you're in the game when that LED light turns green on the card slot. Then you are in the game. Now let's talk about how to play the game. Press start and choose your game mode, choose your ride, and choose your background. And then play and then how to play in the race event. Uh, how to play in the race event. Um, Steer left to turn left, and then steer right to turn right, and then use the pedal to make that jump. Yeah, best game ever. Now, before we talk about the VR, there's something I forgot to mention, and that is how to select uh, background or car or mode in the game. This game before the game starts. Don't mind that. Excuse me. That's my phone. Anyways, yeah, my bad. That's a notification on my phone. I forgot to mute it. Next next time I'll make sure my phone is muted when I record. Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, something I forgot to mention is that you also use the steering wheel to select um, before you play. Before you play, all you gotta do is steer left or right to select what ride you want. I mean, what I'm talking about the car you want, the background you want. All you gotta do is use the steering wheel and also press start to select the same button that would start the game. And once the game will load for a few seconds, and then you are all set to play. Now let's talk about how to put on the VR for the game. How to put on the VR for the game. How to put on the VR headset. So the VR screen is going to be in the the VR screen is going to be inside the headset, and it has a strap and the strap goes on the back of the neck. So if you're not familiar with it, ask uh, just ask someone who's experienced VR headsets before to help you put it on. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's really all you gotta do to make the strap. All you gotta do is make sure you ask the person to put the VR strap on the behind your head and the VR screen on your eyes, because yeah, the VR screen is inside the whole headset, and the VR headset lets you see everything you're doing in everything you're doing in the game. Yep, it it's like your that virtual reality headset. You know, for me, when every time I wear it, it's like I'm playing the game. I mean, it. I'm sorry. It's like you're in the world of Asphalt 9, driving that car, making jumps. Oh, like wow, you're literally driving a car, driving the car, making jumps, and collecting nitros, and wow, it's like you're at a race. It's like I'm at a race event uh every time I wear that VR. And for those of you who've not heard of who who have not heard of VR, or have or have not experienced VR, uh, the word VR. For those of you who don't know the word, VR stands for virtual reality, and virtual reality is it's a headset that lets you see what's going on, especially in a screen. Pretend that especially like I said about Asphalt 9, it's like you're at a race event. In reality, it's a game, and 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 the VR headset. I'd say the overall of the best thing about it is another thing that's the best about VR headset is that you know you also get to you also get to see you also get to see your favorite car that you pick. Yeah, you get to see what your favorite car, and at the end of your race, you get to see your best scores. And before we talk about the before we talk about the funniest part about the game, let's compare it to other racing games. So so the so big difference between Asphalt 9 Legends and and the others like Fast and Furious, like Rock Thrills, Fast and Furious, and Cruise and Blast, and Storm Racer. Yeah, so the difference between all the other three games and Asphalt 9 Legends is that all the other games have the steering wheel uh, under the screen, which means the screen is above the steering wheel, while Asphalt 9 Legends has has it built that built the exact opposite way, which is the exact opposite way, which would look funny because the wheel the steering wheel is for the steering wheel uh, the steering wheel and the seat are literally facing really facing the whole crowd of the center, the whole crowd of the amusement center, instead of the wall. Yeah, and instead of a wall. and and the screen is yeah, and the screen is in the back of this the in the back of the seat, and yeah, that's what makes it. Yeah, that's a big difference between those games. Uh, but what's this? How the but how that game but how all those games are the same are that is that for all these games you just steer you steer to turn left or right and you use the pedal to accelerate. Those features are all those features are on all of those racing games we have mentioned, including Fast and Furious, Cruise and Blast, and Storm Racer. Now let's talk about the funny part as a follow up to the design and as a follow up to the design of Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade and and more. So the funny thing about the game is that it has something. It actually one other funny thing about the game that that is apart from the design is that the game actually has this hose that that blows on you when once you're in game mode, which would which would tickle, and and while you're driving in the game and like while the car jumps, the game the the whole machine shakes like the whole like literally the whole seat of the machine uh shakes. The funny thing is that you're the funny thing is that I was on it and and it's like I'm on a rocking chair. It's like you're on a rocking chair, except that it shakes by itself. While the rocking chair, you have to sit back and push your feet against the floor and and rock and rock backwards. You just use your body. Actually, well, no. Actually, you use your body part, your body to rock a chair. So like, yeah. But for the arcade, yeah. But for the arcade, it already automatically rocks rocks back and forth. Like it shakes back and forth until that activity in the game stops, and that's when it goes back to normal. But it'll keep but but when you jump, that's when it starts, and and the game will be like that until the race is over. how 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 amusing does that sound? I think how scary or amusing does that sound? Share your thoughts in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. If you For those of you who don't watch YouTube, this for those of you who don't watch YouTube, if you find it funny, yeah, let's if you find it funny or scarier, just go ahead and say your thoughts, and you can just add and you can just add this episode to your Spotify library. Back to the arcade for a little bit before we end this episode. Uh, the arcade. The shaking does make me laugh really hard. It's like I'm on the magic carpet ride. It's like I'm on the magic carpet ride at a theme park. Really, it's basically like is it gonna be a merry-go-round? Is it gonna be like a merry-go-round thing, where the horse would lift up like you're riding a horse on a merry-go-round, like the horse would lift up. or is it just the magic carpet ride that goes up and down and speeds up? but but the but the arcade just stays in place. It doesn't it doesn't move because it does not have wheels that does not have wheels to move it. Yeah, but even though that's true, I would, but even though that's true, I would say that that the shaking on the arcade when the car jumps is like it's like you're on a magic carpet ride, Castles and Coasters, which that ride made me laugh so hard. Well, anyways, before we end this episode, I'd like to tell you that for those of you for those who don't watch YouTube or don't have YouTube, I'll always be available on Spotify. I'll always be I'll always be available on Spotify or Amazon Music or whatever it is, wherever it is you get your podcasts. Yeah, but I know Spotify is the number one podcast directory, so most of you, most of you, I know most of you are likely to use Spotify because it's ranked the number one. It's the number one directory of all podcasts, and and I'd also be available on Amazon Music as well, but for for when I upload these episodes, they'll just be available on YouTube and Spotify. I do apologize. I'm not available on any other podcast platform right now. Just just YouTube and Spotify for the time being, and yeah, this is just for whoever doesn't watch YouTube can listen on Spotify and like podcasts and add them to the library, and you know uh, but I'll also be available on Amazon Music and Pocket Cast and iHeartRadio uh later on this month. So yeah, if you do watch YouTube, give this video a like and subscribe. And as you know, YouTube and as you know, good news, YouTube. Uh, as you know, good news. You can actually listen to me on YouTube Music. You can actually listen to me on YouTube Music. Um, if you have YouTube Music, if you have YouTube Music Premium, you can listen to me on Spotify. You don't have to keep your screen on. You can just turn your screen off and listen to me like on your headphones or on your phone speaker or your wireless speaker. Same with Spotify and same with Spotify, which I'll always be available on. And yeah, but that'll wraps up this episode, folks. Thanks for thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening for whoever's on Spotify or Amazon Music and YouTube Music, and thanks for watching. For those who are watching, give this video a thumbs up, and the next episode we'll be talking about the dodgeball arcade and how to play it and how it's like playing dodgeball for episode 5. Until then, it's your guy Bobby signing off. Excuse the noise. I'm just